we presume in America that people are innocent until they're found
Hmm.
guilty. And the biblical role of government is to punish evildoers. It's not to try to catch somebody who might do something wrong. We just don't work
Right.
that way.
People will talk about child abuse and neglect in homeschool families. And of course, you'll hear stories about these kids, which, it's so heartbreaking. They have been terribly abused, and the parents will state, oh, well, we homeschooled them, because people always ask the question, well, why weren't they in school? Why didn't anybody notice that these kids were being chained up or locked up or, neglected, malnourished, whatever? And they put that homeschool label on them.
Right.
And of course, kids who are in institutional school, there's lots of child abuse that goes on there too. Have you done specific research when it comes to the area of child abuse and neglect of
Yes.
institutionally schooled kids versus homeschooled kids?
Yes. It's a study that I've been thinking about doing for probably at least 10 years of it. And finally,
Okay.
a
Wow.
couple years ago, we got on it, and people watching right now gave us money to support the study.
Wow.
Uh, Before I get into that, because I know we got to go fast. First of all, yes, in public school families, homeschool families, and private school families, sometimes parents do evil things, and
Yeah.
it's evil and it's bad. So let's just get that off,
Yes.
on the table and off the table.
Yes.
So no one's excusing that ever.
Right.
Now,
No,
we
no
wanted to know,
justification for it ever.
yeah, we wanted to know from a quantitative perspective and to help an honest discussion for policy and law. Okay, so
Hmm.
is there any difference? Because we've had people, including professors, just throw out wild claims that homeschoolers,
Right.
either disproportionately abuse their children, or it's a way to really, really hide it, that kind of thing. So we really
Right.
wanted to know about that. And so my colleague and I, Dr. Denise Shaquille, worked on this. We started collecting data, and we finally, yay, got it done and published it in a peer-reviewed journal last fall. You can find it, and it's
Oh, wow.
posted. It's
Okay.
posted online, and it's open access, which
Okay.
means anybody can read it. You don't have to pay $40 to read the article, which is wonderful. And so this
Nice.
is what we found: two big major findings. So we compared. So we're our subjects are adults, okay, and they're looking back at growing up. There are a lot of reasons for doing it that
Hmm.
way. It's extremely difficult to query minors about this kind of thing. So we worked with adults and they told us what happened to them growing up. Um, First major finding: when you statistically put into the model demographics like parent education level, family income, uh, how many years children had been or not been in foster care, ethnicity, race, all those things. When you put those in, like you should do in most any study, no significant difference between those who were institutionally schooled and those who were homeschooled in terms of abuse and neglect growing up. No significant difference.
Hmm.
Now, we'll come back to that. Second major finding: for the no significantly different amount of abuse that had been perpetrated on those who were homeschooled. So remember, no significant difference, homeschooled versus institutional. For those who
Right.
were homeschooled, it was not being done, the evil things, by their parents in the home. It was being done to them outside the home at places like schools or museums or sports or those kinds of things. So that's
Hmm.
the second major of two major findings of the study. So what does that mean? People who wanted homeschooling to look good were a little disappointed, and people who wanted institutional schooling to look good were kind of disappointed. No significant difference. And then
Hmm.
for that which was happening to those who were homeschooled, that was actually a positive finding, that it was not happening at home, it was happening outside the home. So that's really a big deal. It doesn't sound like the end of the world kind of study, but it's a big deal because it's the
Sure.
opposite of what a lot of negative critics were claiming without evidence.
Sure.
So, first of all, we presume in America that people are innocent until they're found
Hmm.
guilty. And the biblical role of government is to punish evildoers. It's not to try to catch somebody who might do something wrong. We just don't work
Right.
that way. So the people who want to
Right.
control homeschooling, thinking maybe it'll do better for life, I mean, they're wrong in terms of constitutional philosophy, and they're wrong in terms of
Mhm.
biblical philosophy. Secondly, now we have concrete evidence that there's no problem. There's no problem to try to solve. So quit making these claims, against homeschoolers.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.